In a world of webinars and work, let us pause to think. Isn't it marvelous how lyrics lift our soul? Isn't it wonderful how music affects our mood? So, when an architect writes the poetry, and when the structural consultant creates a melody, spaces blossom and we are happy. Magic happens. And what is happiness after all? Two maestros, a journey of 4 decades, which Wide Angle Forum is proud to present. When the architect and engineer comes together, it's harmony that is created.
Today, all of us are here to engage, to converse in a very sweet topic, which is design symphony, lyrics and music in a building, which is nothing but a conversation between an architect and an engineer. As you can see on the screen, we are really very happy, very proud, and I feel quite privileged also to have here two stalwarts who are very, very different personalities altogether. I'm very lucky to have them as my friend, as my mentor. And I think today we are going to learn something which we have never seen before. So on this very sweet note, on behalf of Wide Angle Forum, I welcome all of you to today's webinar. Friends, when I welcome you to a program like this, obviously we have done a lot of research. But as I always feel, the seed of every particular event comes from a conversation. So I'll be very frank here in admitting that the seed of this program, where I connect a design or a building with music, actually came from both these individuals who are with us today. I was talking with Vikas sir and I was talking with Vivek sir. And based on my conversation with both of them, something came up and I felt that, well, we must do something about this. So as I've said in the card also, be witness to a very unique and rare dialogue as these maestros share priceless moments from their journeys and paths explored. Wide Angle Forum has for the last 4.5 years been attempting to bring a sense of refreshing aesthetics to not only our city, but also to every other arena of creativity also. At present, Wide Angle Forum is the umbrella company for a few other initiatives. For example, Design Vista is our national level quarterly design and lifestyle magazine. Wave is the weekly newsletter that we plan to start from July. The Aspire Academy is an academy where everybody can learn a little, be more enriched. Suffer is a kind of study tool and a refreshing change from the humdrum of our daily routine. And Wide Angle Book Club is our tiny squirrel's way of giving back something to the community. I won't dwell much on this because today the reason why we have come together is something different. At this point, I would like to profusely thank our partner for today, UltraTech Cement. In particular, I would like to thank who have now become my friends, Mr. Hemant Jain, Harsh Shah, and Jaswant Singh. Thank you, Jaswant. I will stop my share. All yours for 5 minutes.
All the delegates and good evening. I know today two legends are there, so I will not take a more time. I will just take you 5 minutes and tell you about our company, a brief description about our products. UltraTech Cement Limited is the largest manufacturer of grey cement, ready-mix concrete, and even we are now coming into the building products also. So just a brief, we have the capacity of 117.35 million metric ton per annum of the grey cement, 23 integrated plants, 27 grinding units, and 7 bulk millers. We have operation in India, UAE, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. We are in the white cement. We are market leader in the brand white cement with the brand name Birla White. We have white cement putty also. In together, we have 0.8 million metric ton per annum of plant capacity. We have 100 plus ready mix plants in 45 cities. Ultratech Cement. Ultratech is the largest manufacturer of cement and RMC in India. We also cater to the special needs of the customers as per his requirements. Ultratech is pioneered in the building solutions. This concept is now bought in mostly all the cities as IHB. You can call it an individual home builder. He has to visit all the shops for different requirements like bathroom accessories, like cement, steel. You have to go for some other place. But we had bought all this in one umbrella. You got cement, steel, paint, waterproofing products, bathroom accessories, all under one roof. That is the Ultratech building solution. We have started concept almost in all the cities now. So this is a short brief about my company. We are in the building solutions. We are in the concrete. We are in the Birla White. We are in the grey. So I will hand over to Priya ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jaswantji. That was really very brief and very crisp and extremely effective, if I may say so. So friends, allow me to start my share.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. Right. Friends, music is made up of many components. You need somebody to write the lyrics. You need somebody to compose the music. And yes, you need people to appreciate the music also and to bring it to the public also. I'm not sure which ingredient of these I belong to, but yes, I'm convinced that the two individuals whom we have today with us are not individuals, they are institutions in themselves. It's my great honor and privilege to welcome architect Vikas Bhandari. The reason I put these words in very bold on the screen is because I truly believe that this is what he is. So I'll again read this out to all of you, though you have read it 100 times in the card. The architect Vikas Bhandari. The head of Vikas Studio is a stalwart in penning the lyrics of iconic buildings and a revered mentor who has inspired many others to be faithful to the words. How profound is that? And you can see I've put his office address also, as if everybody doesn't already know where his office is. The engineer Vivek Apte. The head of ACPL is a towering figure in composing the music of landmark structures and a very respected guru who has inspired many others to stay true to the melody. So on one hand, we have lyrics and on one hand, we have melody. If you stay true to the words and you stay true to the melody, well, inspiring music is bound to happen. I've put his office address here also, as if everybody doesn't already know where his office is. A warm welcome to you, Vikas sir, Vivek sir, from the Wide Angle Forum and Ultratech Cement Limited. It is, needless to say, a great honor to have this interaction with you today. When I was thinking of this program, I was extremely astonished at the poetry in their words also, in the names which they have been given. So Vikas means development, growth, potential, realization of true worth. And Vivek means reason, balance. I mean, how could you ever think of words that could be more connected to what they do? I, for one, cannot. Let's go back a little, friends. We are talking about the disco era, 1974, 1975. India was going through a self-realization of sorts. Some of us had just been born, some of us perhaps were not born at all. This was a very important time because, as I'll tell you why I think so. After a record 84 days in orbit, the crew of Skylab 4 returns to Earth. What a profound announcement that was. The population of the world reaches 4 billion people today. at this in 1974. I have no idea how much it is now. West Germany are awarded the new FIFA World Cup trophy. The Charles de Gaulle Airport opens in Paris and creates history. The Terracotta Army is discovered in China. And two gentlemen, youngsters, maybe 22, 23 years of age, enter the professional world of architecture and engineering. First up, it is my honor to introduce formally our guest for tonight, Vikas Bhandari. This young man belongs to the town of Koregaon in Satara district. He came to Pune with bright eyes, plans for a great future, and realizing the dream that any youngster would like to realize. He enters the batch of BKPS College of Architecture when they would get a diploma. One of the truly pioneering batches that all of us consider today are gurus. The 74 batch of BKPS College of Architecture passes out. Vikas follows this up with starting his own practice and also an extension course in what probably was a very complex topic at that era, housing and urban development, conducted by the University College, London. What follows is truly iconic. He begins private practice in 1975. Pune is a very different city at that time. We are still to discover things like IT and consumerism. It is a pensioners' town. And well, it may be a great place for an architect to start. And again, it may be a very difficult place for an architect to start. As of now, Vikas Bhandari is one of the most recognized faces in Maharashtra and India too. Apart from his private practice, where he has designed thousands of buildings and houses and spaces, I love this part of his trajectory or career where he has been the member of so many policy-making associations. He has had a strong hand in how the city develops. And also, he's a much beloved and sometimes a little feared lecturer at many colleges of design in the city. Vikas sir, many, many thanks to you for joining. It is a great day for me personally also today. Moving on, Engineer Vivek Apte. The young boy Vivek has been educated in his hometown, Ahmednagar. He comes to, I repeat, he comes to Pune again and studies at the iconic COEP College, which all of us would agree is one of the most revered again colleges ever to get an engineering degree in. After this, he works for 2 years and then he follows this up with a master's in structural engineering from the hallowed BJTI Mumbai University. Mumbai is a great place to be for a 20-year-old, 23-year-old person. And yes, the young Vivek enjoys every minute of it. After his master's, he joins Sterling Engineering Consultancy Services in Mumbai as a young, bold structural engineer. He spends 5 years there, gets associated with the structural design of many prestigious national and international projects. It's a great experience. He's meeting new people, working on ground, realizing what structures are all about. In between, he also finds time to teach the students of architecture at the JJ College at Mumbai from 1979 to 82, and later in our own Pune at BKPS from 86 to 1990. As of the now, Vivek sir has been in independent practice at Ahmednagar in 1983. I will be asking him a question later related to this. And 37 years, Apte Consultants Private Limited has handled so many assignments. I think this introduction tells a lot about both these individuals. The journey that they have seen is phenomenal. And sir, I would like to request you, if at all both of you decide to write a book, my services are there as a typist. So friends, check the time, it's 6:46. We will be following a very structured and very crisp agenda today so that we end at the scheduled time. So in order for this to happen, let's begin with a look at the schedule for today. The first segment will be the early years and impressions of partnership between the architect and structural consultant. The second part will be 4 broad categories of projects, which I will quickly go one by one. And I will of course request both Vikas sir and Vivek Apte to be precise and to be crisp because we do not want to miss out on any part of this program. The third is my personal favorite. It is sharing of memories and anecdotes by some of you. And the fourth, friends, will be as usual. Every time Wide Angle Forum programs always end with humility, and we will be ending with a conclusion and prayer. So let's begin. I would first start with Vivek Apte, the early years and the importance of the partnership between architect and structural engineer. Vivek sir, I would like first you to share something in maybe 3-4 minutes about this entire topic. How do you look at this?
I mean, we have been discussing about this during last fortnight. We have finalized the format of this program, as you said. And if you wish, then I can start with my stuff.
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, I have divided my topic into 4 small segments. The first one is history of structural engineering in India. Second is role of structural engineer in a building industry. Third is coordination between architect and structural engineer. And the fourth is do's and don'ts for a structural engineer.
So if I may just interrupt, what I have done is that I have loaded all the slides and all the wonderful photos that I have got from you, and I have put it as a subject base. So we will, after you share some initial memories of yours or some thoughts, we will go on to the slides. So over to you.
You can go on showing those pictures
fine,
so that.
Fine. Okay. Yes.
Because I'll talk about my Sterling days where I worked for 5 years.
Right.
What you see on the slide is a building which is monumental and iconic building at Mumbai on Dalal Street. It's 32-storied Bombay Stock Exchange building. And I was a member of the design team when I initially joined Sterling Consultants in 1979 after my post-graduation. This building is so intricate and so complicated, yet so beautiful, that Mr. Hadkar himself, who is the sole proprietor of Sterling, said that one can write a book on the building itself. So I don't want to go into details of this, but I can only mention the name of the architect here. He is Chandrakant Patel from Mumbai. And various engineering technologies which were modern at that time were used, like diaphragm walling and slip form work. Okay, and now the second building, which you may like to show, is the Meridian Hotel at New Delhi, which was built at Connaught Place in 1982. Do you have that picture?
Yes, sir, I've shared it.
This is the entrance choir of the Meridian Hotel, which is built at Connaught Place. And it's 22-storied building where the foundations are going deep down to 20 meters. And there is an atrium which is 22 stories high, and it's covered at top by a rooftop restaurant there. And here the architect was from Mumbai by the name Raja Ederi. And there it was a wonderful experience because this was done just earlier to the Asian Games of 1982, which were held in Delhi at that time. And I was in charge of this Meridian Hotel design team leader. And simultaneously, our firm, Sterling, was designing the most prestigious, for the first ever time in India, built indoor air-conditioned stadium, which is Indraprastha Stadium. You can see the arena of that stadium now. The span or the diameter of the stadium is 500 feet column-free space. And it rises to a height of 150 feet. And the diameter is 500 feet. It's a structural steel frame, which itself weighs 2,000 metric tons. And it was done for the first time in India. So it's a feather in the cap of Sterling that time. It was built in 1982, and it was obviously inaugurated by the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. This is the third project, and the fourth one, where we don't have the pictures, but where I was the leader of the design, not this one, where I was the leader of the design team, where we designed 2,000 prefabricated concrete houses in Baghdad, which is the capital place of Iraq. I was the designer for those houses, and the architects were American. The architects collaborative from Boston, and we were the structural designers that time. it was a unique experience and a learning experience for me, a young engineer like me that time. I was for 27 years that time. And it was really good to know the technique of prefabrication in large housing projects like this. And I would like to see such projects coming in India, at least now, if not earlier. This was about the
Yes.
Indira Gandhi Stadium, then Baghdad project, then Meridian project, and then the Stock Exchange project. And the last but not the least, while in Sterling, I worked on a project which was Ultratech cement plant at Chandrapur or Awarpur, where we actually did the residential complex of that project. And the architect was none other than Mr. Charles Correa. So I had the privilege of working with him, rubbing shoulders past a great thespian like Charles Correa and listening to his philosophy of architecture was an unforgettable experience for me. So it was a very pleasant time and learning things under able guidance of Mr. Hadkar, who was in charge of the design team. That time we only had 25 people in Sterling, but now they have 250 structural engineers working in under one roof. So, and it still remains to be #1 structural engineering firm in India. And our specialty, Sterling specialty, was construction of high-rise buildings. As a junior engineer, the first project entrusted to me was the smallest one that time in Sterling, and that was a 20-storied building in 1979. So that was the smallest project in 1979, which was designed by Sterling. And now they have gone up to 90 stories, which is under construction in Parel, Lalbagh, and so many other places. So this is about Sterling. And then I returned to Ahmednagar, and then I started working here. But then I really found that the work here was really insufficient in quality and quantity both. Therefore, I was, instead of idling at Ahmednagar for the full week, I started visiting Pune and spending 3 days of the week at Pune. But I knew no one at Pune. So first person I met at Pune was architect Vikas Bhandari. And he was the person who encouraged me and gave my first break at Pune. So he offered a job to me as a structural engineer. And once he realized that I could design the projects which he has planned, then he started encouraging me more and more and started giving me works in and around Pune and as well as Ahmednagar. So he guided me and he introduced me to his architect friends in Pune so that I could get more projects from them. It was really kind of him and he was very helpful to me, and I shall remain permanently indebted to him for the great help which he has given to me. And later on, after working with him from 1983 to 1993, we really became very good, close friends. And then in 1993, I found that now Nagar has enough work so that I can consume all the 6 days of the week in designing structures which I get to design at Nagar. So I stopped, actually discontinued going to Pune, and I stabilized at Nagar and started working from Nagar. But even though I was working for projects at Nagar, because of my work of 10 years in Pune, where I met various architects, they continued to give me work. After, even to this date, I work for a number of architects in Pune and projects in Pune and outside as well. One of the architects to mention, apart from Vikas Bhandari, for whom I work in Pune, is Architectonics Design Consultancy Private Limited, where Ajay and Sonali Thosar are the proprietors, and both of them are architects. It was really a nice experience to work with such architects who really have a creative mind. And now let's talk to structural engineers' role in a building industry.
So you can tell me if you want me to shift the slides. I put each of those 4 photos on independent so that the size is substantial.
The slide which you're showing, I'll let you know about it a little later on. So I was mentioning about structural engineers' role in the building industry. what happens is initially the architect prepares a building plan and sends it over to the structural engineer. Then there is a soil investigation report. Based on these two, the structural engineer is supposed to prepare a mathematical model of the building plan, and that mathematical model has to be as close to the reality as possible to get the correct output and suitable results. Then the framing plans at various levels from foundation to the roof are to be prepared. And those are to be presented to the architect. Hello? Hello?
Yes, somebody had their
Yeah.
audio on.
Can I continue?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah. Those framing plans are to be sent to the architect for his approval. And while preparing framing plans, the structural engineer has to use latest materials available in the market, latest construction technology and machinery. And why it is necessary to do this? Because we want to construct timeless buildings. What I mean by this is that if you use the technology which is 20 years old today, and that building is built accordingly based on that technology, and if you take a look at that building after 20 years, that building looks old after 20 years. And another 20 years, that building looks actually ancient. So I would want both architect and engineer to build timeless buildings or evergreen buildings, so that even after 20 years of construction, the people should feel that this building is designed and constructed yesterday. Therefore, the structural engineer has to use the best and the latest material available, the best technology and machinery available in the industry. And then these drawings which are sent to the architect are to be validated by the architect, whether he has got any suggestions as far as column locations, beam sizes, cantilevers, etc. Then he has to point those out to the structural engineer and return those with his comments to the structural engineer. And then the structural engineer has to take cognizance of all those comments. And as far as possible, he has to try and accommodate all the suggestions which the architect has made upon his plans. And once this is done, the plan becomes good for construction, and then that is to be sent to the site of works. And then the third part, which I like to see, is close coordination between architect and structural engineer. And the very important thing is that nowadays there's a practice that client appoints an architect, the architect prepares a plan, gets it approved from the corporation, and then sends to the structural engineer, and structural engineer prepares his own structural design, whether RCC or steel, and then straight away sends it to the site. That should not happen. And another point is that there needs to be a very close coordination between architect and structural engineer. Therefore, the introduction of the structural engineer in the design process has to start from day one. When the architect is preparing his own plan, he has to involve the structural engineer right from day one. Therefore, he has to decide about who is going to be structural engineer right from the beginning, at the inception of the project design. Therefore, nowadays, what is the practice? No one knows who is going to. Therefore, that needs to be decided first hand. Who is going with the structural engineer, and accordingly, the architect can plan, and the structural engineer also can contribute in some way in deciding about the frame of the building in architect's plan. It's a give and take procedure actually. And let me tell you that structural engineering is not only mathematics. It is not only science. Similarly, the architecture is not only pure work of art. Both structural engineer and architect have to know something of other. I mean, just as we have in architectural colleges a subject called mechanics, engineering mechanics, which is taught to the architects. Similarly, it is my suggestion to the government of Maharashtra and India that in civil engineering syllabus, you should have architecture as one of the subjects, so that when the graduate civil engineers pass out, they know something about architecture. And otherwise, what happens is, well, the staff which you get in your design offices does not know anything about architectural planning. And you have to, even as a structural engineer, I have to teach my staff about architectural drawing. That should not happen. Therefore, they should include architectural design as part of the syllabus in the civil engineering curriculum. And then what we have is, this is an analogy now which I'm going to draw. Analogy between a building and a song. Let me talk about song first. A lyricist or a poet writes a poem, right? He writes his mind in it, actually. The thoughts in his mind are put on paper in the form of words. Then he hands it over to the music composer, who sets it to certain tune, certain raga, certain tala, and a melody takes birth. And then it is given to a singer who sings it, and then the listener listens to it. And if the song happens to be really good and melodious, the singer joy knows no bounds, actually. And similarly, in case of a building, an architect prepares a plan where he puts the ideas in his mind on the drawing in the form of a drawing, and then he sends it over to the structural engineer, who provides a structural frame suitable to that particular architectural plan. And when that is done, then the contractor, the civil engineer site, constructs that building. And finally, the end user uses when he occupies that building, he uses it. And when the user likes that building, that is the real reward for the design team of architect, structural engineer, and contractor. So this is a one-to-one correspondence between architect and lyricist, structural engineer and musician, contractor and singer, and end user and listener. I hope you like this idea and you agree to the analogy. And this process of writing a song first, writing a poem first, and then setting it to tune may be reversed in the case of industrial buildings, actually, because where the structural engineer decides about the structural grid in case of an industrial building, and then he sends it back to the architect to prepare his architectural plan based on that industrial grid. So here the process can be similarly. Sometimes you must have heard that a music composer sets a tune first, and then the poet or the songwriter or the lyricist writes a poem fitting to the tune. This also you must have heard. So this may happen sometimes, but normally the procedure is that the architect prepares the plan first, and then the structural engineer designs it. Okay.
Right.
Now, I'll quote Shakespeare. Shakespeare once said that the sweetest of our songs express the saddest of our thoughts. The sweetest of our songs express the saddest of our thoughts. Similarly, drawing parallel, most awesome of our buildings express the most sublime of architectural ideas. Most awesome of our buildings express the most sublime of architectural design ideas. Lastly, do's and don'ts for structural engineers. Well, when fresh, young, junior architects approach structural engineers and ask them to design based on the plans prepared by them, it is the duty of the senior structural engineer to encourage every new idea which is presented to him by the junior architect. And also, you must tell him that failing to plan is planning to fail. This is literally true in case of architects in letter and spirit. If a young architect fails to plan, then his career which is ahead of him is most likely to fail in that career. Therefore, you must imbibe this fact on the mind of a new architect or new entrant. That failing to plan is planning to fail, especially for architects. And now, it's very easy to prepare complicated plans. People make funny and clumsy details, full of clutter. And when those details are sent to site, the site people are annoyed and they try to find a way out how to execute such complicated detail. Therefore, it is really easy to prepare a complicated detail, and it is extremely difficult to prepare a simple detail which is user friendly and which can be understood by people and staff at site immediately. And I would like to see the joy in the eyes of the fitter and carpenter and the labor first when they see my drawing. That is again a real reward for a structural engineer. Instead of preparing complicated structural details and drawings and hundreds of beams in one building and different types of columns and beams, it is always fruitful to have a simple plan with few groups and similar types of columns and beams in one particular complex of a building. Now, most of the structural engineers will find that the architect does not like many columns in a building. And the structural engineer goes on insisting on more columns, less overhangs, less heights. Now, why should one do that? Please allow architects to have it their own way. Because nowadays, impossible is nothing, because you've got so many sophisticated structural engineering softwares at your disposal, like ETABS and STAAD, so that you can analyze any conceivable idea of architect by way of using finite element technique and so many other techniques. Please do not discourage any architect from putting his ideas on paper, which may sound to be impossible or fantastic. But remember, impossible is nothing. You can frame any conceivable design idea into a building nowadays. So, because what people try to do is most of the people nowadays take help of IS code, and they say that the IS code prevents me from doing that. IS code doesn't want me to take floating columns. IS code doesn't want to take cantilevers more than 2 meters. Now, is it really possible to put buildings with such restrictions? It is next to impossible. See, nowadays there is another code which has evolved now, which is 16700 is the name of the code, which talks about tall buildings in structural engineering, where you can design code exceeding buildings, which means that the clauses which are put down in the code can be flouted and you can have your own way of designing buildings. But only condition is that that design, that analysis needs to be submitted to a panel of competent structural engineers who will approve that design, and then only it can be executed at site. Lastly, paying tribute to my guru, Mr. Kamal Hadkar of Sterling, he gave me a guru mantra. And I'll just repeat that guru mantra for you and I'll end my talk there. Mr. Hadkar said that do not follow the course of practice blindly, but seek to apply laws of nature. Do not follow the course of practice blindly, but seek to apply laws of nature. There is one picture which is seen on the screen now, where you'll see architectural plan of a building, which is a 8-storied building, and one floor measures about 30,000-40,000 square feet. So it is about 3 lakh square feet of building. It's a commercial building which is under construction, and this plan was prepared by an architect from Mumbai. And this is the basic architectural plan. And kindly show the next plan so that I can elaborate on this. Kindly show the next plan. Yes. Now this plan, you will see No, the second one, red columns. The earlier one. The red columns.
Okay, sorry. This one?
Red columns, the second one, yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Now you can see the red spots, which are the columns here. No, kindly show the columns. Kindly show the red spots.
The red spots are seen, sir, in this.
Yes. This is the slide.
Yeah.
Here you see about 70 or odd columns in this building, and they are following the whole space of that commercial building. And this building was constructed, the basement and foundations were done, and then they realized that when they decentered this basement slab, they realized that you cannot park the vehicles because there are so many columns coming in the way. This shows total lack of coordination between architect and structural engineer. And then at that stage, this was handed over to another structural engineer, and he prepared his own structural frame based on the earlier architectural plan, which is the next slide. Kindly show the next slide.
This is the one, sir? Yeah.
Yes, this one. Now here you will see that green spots are only the columns. Earlier there were about 70 odd columns. Now there are about 16 to 20 columns in the whole space of 30,000 square feet, where the structural engineer has made use of pre-stressed concrete technology, large span flat slabs, PT beams, PT slabs, and whatnot, and rich concrete, high tension steel, everything. So this is the way to tackle such problems, and this plan was immediately accepted by the owner and the architect as well. Now he was so happy, but initially he accepted the plan with 70 columns, and now he was ready and prepared to execute on 16 or 20 columns. And remember here, the total loss to the owner was out to the tune of about 2 to 3 crores, because that whatever was constructed was required to be broken, taken down, and start from the foundation again. And the next plan, where based on the new structural layout, the architect was required to align his elevators, escalators, staircases, etc. by a little distance, but that didn't really matter. So this is how a good structural engineering frame or good structural engineer can contribute to a building and make it much better and usable building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was really, I think it was a very different start, if I may say so, to a conversation like this. Very relevant and maybe a lesson to start this entire conversation of ours. I'm coming now to Vikas Bhandari, sir. Sir, I would like, firstly, even I have got images of your early years. So if with your permission, I would like to play them. And may I request you to switch on your video and audio if it is off. So yes, these are the early works of architect Vikas Bhandari. They're very, very iconic buildings and bungalows in Pune. So sir, with the help of these, I would request you to share a little about your early years and also your impressions about the partnership between an architect and a structural consultant. Over to you, sir.
Basically, me FY Science गरवारे कॉलेजला केलं आणि गरवारे कॉलेजचं स्ट्रक्चर तुम्ही बघाल तर 8 फुटाचा कॉरिडॉर आणि दोन्ही बाजूला लॅब्स किंवा स्टुडिओ लॅब्स आणि क्लासरूम्स आणि त्या बिल्डिंग मध्ये जाताना मला कायम असं जाणवायचं की ही बिल्डिंग मुलांच्यावर काय संस्कार करेल. तेव्हा मी आर्किटेक्चरला आलेलो नव्हतो, पण तरी सारखं असं वाटायचं की अशा प्रकारची बिल्डिंग असू नये. आणि नंतर कोइन्सिडेंटली इंजिनिअरिंगला ऍडमिशन मिळाली नाही म्हणून आर्किटेक्चरला आलो आणि मग ते जे काय सगळं पाहिलेलं होतं त्याची उत्तरं मला मिळायला लागली. ही जी उजव्या बाजूला तुम्ही बिल्डिंग बघताय, टॉल बिल्डिंग, नॅरो आणि टॉल, हे पुण्यातले जे आपले बायलॉ होते त्या बायलॉ असं होतं की 70 फूट हाईट ही बिल्डिंगची होऊ शकते आणि नॉर्मली जो काही FSI परमिसिबल होता त्यामध्ये 3-4 फ्लोअर मध्ये त्या बिल्डिंग होऊन जायच्या. पण नानापेठेतली ही जी काही गल्ली मधली बिल्डिंग आहे मी म्हणलं का असं का, कारण प्रत्येकानं ग्राउंड फ्लोअरला एक दुकान करायचं, बाजूला एक छोटा पॅसेज करायचा, त्यातनं जिन्याला जायचं आणि वर जायचं. अशा प्रकारची स्ट्रक्चर का करावीत आपण, म्हणून आम्ही हा थोडा एक्सपेरिमेंट केला. एक्सपेरिमेंट एवढ्यासाठी म्हणतोय की ही बिल्डिंग पास करून घ्यायला म्युन्सिपाल्टीमध्ये आम्हाला कमीत कमी 25 हेलपाटे मारावे लागले असतील. त्यांना मी पाहिलं होतं, एकच म्हणलं की तुमची हाईट 70 फूट आहे, तर मी 70 वर अचीव करतो आणि त्यात खाली डिझाईन करतो, यात तुम्हाला काय ऑब्जेक्शन असायचं कारण नाही. शेवट तांबे नावाचे एक सेट इंजिनियर आपले होते, एक सेट इंजिनियर, आणि ही वॉज रिअली अ नाईस पर्सन, नॉन करप्ट नाईस पर्सन, आणि ही अंडरस्टूड द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर. त्यामुळे ही बिल्डिंग त्यावेळेला सँक्शन झाली. अनफॉर्च्युनेटली बांधली गेली नाही. बाजूला जो बघताय तो बंगला आहे, एक्सपोज ब्रिक मध्ये केलेले बंगले मी ते पाषाण रोडला जे सगळे त्यातला बंगला आहे. आणि इथं एक सांगायची गंमत म्हणजे PR फाटक म्हणून स्ट्रक्चरल डिझायनर होते. ही हॅड वर्क एक्सटेन्सिव्हली विथ कानविंदे अँड बेंजामिन वर या लोकांच्या वर काम केलेले. रिटायर होऊन ते जेव्हा पुण्याला आले तर त्यांचा बंगला माझ्या ऑफिस पासून 4 बंगले फक्त दूर होता. आणि पुण्यामध्ये ते कम्प्लिटली रिटायरमेंटला आले, पण ते गावात काय चाललंय बघत होते. ते एक दिवस ऑल ऑफ सडन काही ओळख नसताना ते माझ्या ऑफिसमध्ये, गॅरेज मधल्या ऑफिसमध्ये डोकावलं आणि ते म्हणले मी रिटायर होऊन आलेलो आहे, मी इथं येऊन फार कामं करायची माझी इच्छा नाहीये, पण चांगली कामं असतील तर मला करायची, आणि चांगलं काम कोण कोण करतंय असं मी जेव्हा सगळं तपास केलं आणि पाहिलं तेव्हा तुमचं एक नाव त्यात आलं. आणि ऍक्च्युली मी आता सांगेन की ते फाटक हे माझे स्ट्रक्चर मधले गुरु आहेत असं मी म्हणेन. कारण त्यांनी स्ट्रक्चरल रिफाईनमेंट्स, डिटेलिंगचे जे काही रिफाईनमेंट्स आहेत ते सगळं मला शिकवलं. बरं, नुसतं मला शिकवलं नाही, त्यांनी नंतर काय सांगितलं की तुझ्याकडचं पुढचं प्रोजेक्ट त्याच आर्किटेक्ट असिस्टंटला माझ्याकडे पाठवू नको, प्रत्येक वेळेला नवा असिस्टंटला पाठव, म्हणजे मी त्याला तयार करेन. आणि ह्या भट्टीमध्ये खरोखर माझ्या ऑफिसमधले 7-8 लोक स्ट्रक्चरल डिसिप्लिन म्हणजे तयार केले. त्यानंतर त्यांच्याबरोबर मला एक काम करायचा योग आला अहमदनगरमध्ये. अहमदनगरची MG रोड हा साधारण 25 फूट रुंदीचा रस्ता आणि तुफान गर्दी कायम. तर तिथली एक बिल्डिंग आम्हाला ओनरनं सांगितलं की मला लग्नाचा सीझन संपला म्हणजे समटाईम अराउंड मे एंड, की त्यावेळेला ती बिल्डिंग पाडायची आहे आणि दसऱ्याला मला ती बिल्डिंग पाहिजे, म्हणजे साधारण 3.5 महिन्याचा पिरियड. तर 7 मजले आणि 1 बेसमेंट अशी बिल्डिंग. आणि त्यावेळेला फाटक सारखा स्ट्रक्चरल डिझायनर गुरु बरोबर असल्यामुळेच मी करू शकलो. पण त्यावेळेला कॅस्टेलेटेड बीमची लेंथ 30 फूट, बीम सुद्धा रात्री मूव्ह करावे लागायचे, कारण त्या गल्लीमध्ये दिवसा ट्रकच जाऊ शकायचा नाही. असं करून आम्ही 3.5 महिन्यामध्ये ती बिल्डिंग इंटिरियर सहित पुरी केली. आणि त्यावेळेला त्यांच्या बरोबर काम केल्यामुळे ज्या काही स्ट्रक्चरल रिफाईनमेंट्स शिकलो त्या पुढं करिअरभर मला कामाला आल्या. त्यानंतर फाटकांची तब्येती बरी नसायची, त्यावेळेला नेमके विवेकची माझी गाठ पडली. आणि विवेकनं कुठं आधी काम केलंय म्हणून सांगताना हडकर प्रभू नाम घेतलं. हडकर प्रभू एवढे 2 शब्द ऐकल्याबरोबर विवेकला मी ताबडतोब एक बंगल्याचं काम दिलं. आणि मग त्या रिफाईनमेंट मध्ये आमच्या टीमनं काम करायला सुरुवात केली. आणि तुम्ही जे शब्द वापरला ना सिम्फनी, तसंच आहे. मला काय पाहिजे हे विवेकला समजायचं, विवेकला स्ट्रक्चरली काय काय गरज आहे हे माझ्या प्लॅन मध्ये मी अकोमोडेट केलेलं असायचं. अशा प्रकारे 10 वर्ष आम्ही काम एकमेकांच्या बरोबर करून एन्जॉय केलं. अनफॉर्च्युनेटली माझ्याकडे मोठी जेव्हा प्रोजेक्ट आली त्यावेळेला विवेक अहमदनगरला मायग्रेट झाला होता, त्यामुळं त्याच्याबरोबर काम करायची पुढं फार मला संधी आल्या नाहीत. फक्त नगरमध्ये आम्ही एक हाऊसिंग केलं की जे हाऊसिंग नॅशनल हाऊसिंग पॉलिसीच्या डेव्हलपमेंटसाठी वन ऑफ द मॉडेल म्हणून ते स्टडी केलं गेलं. चंदन म्हणजे कायनेटिक इंजिनिअरिंगचं हाऊसिंग आहे, विवेक स्ट्रक्चरल डिझायनर होते आणि वी एन्जॉय डुईंग दॅट वर्क. त्यामध्ये कधी कधी विवेकशी मी स्ट्रक्चर बद्दलही वाद घातला आणि विवेकने प्रेमामध्ये माझा वाद ऐकून घेतला असं म्हणा पाहिजे तर. त्यानंतर मग विवेक मायग्रेट झाल्यामुळं मग इथं मग YS सानेंच्या बरोबर काही कामं केली अशी. आणि म्हणजे फाटकांचे संस्कार कामाला आले आणि त्यामुळे ज्या ज्या स्ट्रक्चरल डिझायनर बरोबर काम केलं त्या सगळ्या स्ट्रक्चरल डिझायनरलाही माझ्या बरोबर काम करण्यात एन्जॉयमेंट मिळाली. कारण त्यानंतर असं लक्षात आलं की काहीतरी आचरटपणानं मागणारा माणूस नाही हा, याला स्ट्रक्चर कळतं. आणि मी तर माझ्या ऑफिसमध्ये शिस्त त्यापासून अशी लावली की कुठलंही डिझाईन झाल्यानंतर त्याचं बेसिक फ्रेमिंग आपण एक्झामिन करून त्या फ्रेमिंगचे डॉटेड लाईन्स टाकल्याशिवाय स्ट्रक्चरल डिझाईनकडे प्लॅनच जायला नाही पाहिजे. म्हणजे स्ट्रक्चरल डिझायनरला हे काय काय आलंय माझ्या समोर असा प्रश्न यायची गरज पडू नये. आता विवेक जसं म्हणत होता ना पुढच्या जनरेशनचं, त्यात मला थोडंसं आता बोलावं वाटतंय. कारण ऑफ लेट म्हणजे गेल्या 5-10 वर्षात जे पाहतोय की सगळं डिझायनिंगचे डिसिजन सुद्धा अनफॉर्च्युनेटली आर्किटेक्टकडनं बिल्डरच्या हातात गेलेले. तो म्हणतो इतका एरिया असेल तर सेलेबल असतं आणि मग तेवढ्या एरियामध्ये ते प्लॅन बसवताना सगळं प्लॅनिंग स्ट्रक्चर न लक्षात घेता फक्त भिंतीवर तयार व्हायला लागलेलं आहे. आणि ते इतक्या लेवलला गेलंय की मी 1 महिन्यापूर्वी एक प्लॅन सहज माझ्या पाण्यात आला की त्यामध्ये किचन मधनं टॉयलेटला एंट्री दिलेली आहे. आणि हे जेव्हा होत आहे तेव्हा आमच्या सगळ्या फॅकल्टीलाही आपल्याला विचार करावा लागेल की आर्किटेक्टचा हा रोल आहे का, की डेव्हलपर म्हणतो इतक्या स्क्वेअर मीटर मध्ये घर व्हायला पाहिजे म्हणून घराची कन्व्हिनियन्स सगळे सॅक्रिफाईस करून अशी डिझाईन करून आणि मग ते काय नुसत्या भिंतीवर सगळं डिझाईन केलं असलं की स्ट्रक्चरल डिझाईनची कसरत चालू होते. बायचान्स अल्ट्राटेक सारखी कंपनी आहे आणि आपल्याकडे स्टील तयार होतं म्हणून तो स्टील घालतो आणि कॉन्क्रीट होतच राहतो आणि पडणार नाही असं स्ट्रक्चर करून देतो, पण त्यात त्याला एन्जॉयमेंट किती मिळत असेल याचा मला थोडा आता शंका यायला लागलेली आहे. अशा प्रकारे सगळे सुरू झाल्यानंतर मग स्ट्रक्चरल डिसिप्लिन. प्रिया पुढची स्लाइड आहे का?
So can you tell us about this building? I think it is your home if I'm not wrong. So a few memories on this, the making of this cute bungalow.
आता जे तुम्ही बघताय माझं स्वतःचं घर आहे अभिमान श्री मधलं.
So yeah, now sir, what I'm doing is now I have segregated this into 4 broad categories. So maybe it is institutional, corporate, residential, mass housing and social, which we will be ending with. So I would request everybody to keep to time. So we will start first with one institutional project done by Vivek sir, which is the Sanskari School. Over to you, Vivek sir.
Which is actually a school building, which was done in 4 or 5 phases at Wagholi, Pune. The architect also was from Pune. Nachiket Umrani was the architect. And you will see that texture paint outside, which is in the form of terracotta. And there is latest one more wing added to it, which is an 8-storied building with auditorium on the ground floor, which is 20 feet high. And that auditorium is 55 to 60 feet span and 150 feet long and has pre-stressed concrete beams in it. So this was recently completed at Wagholi, Pune, 8-storied building.
So I come now to Vikas Bhandari. Again, we have segregated in 4 kinds of categories. I would like to start with corporate because it's an interesting sector to know in detail. And we are talking about the Gift City here. So Vikas sir, over to you.
गिफ्ट सिटी जे अहमदाबाद मध्ये होत आहे त्या कमर्शियल सेक्टर मधली ही पहिली बिल्डिंग आणि दिस इज टिपिकली फॉर सॉफ्टवेअर कंपनीज, IT रिलेटेड आणि गिफ्ट फायनान्शियल सेक्टर रिलेटेड ज्या कंपनी आहेत त्यांच्यासाठीचे हा ऑफिस टॉवर आहे. IT म्हटल्यानंतर एक टिपिकल मार्ग असतो की लोक आत बसल्यानंतर they become claustrophobic, sitting together inside for long hours, and then they become restless. So इथं आम्ही ट्रिपल हायटेड टेरेसेस अशा सिक्वेन्स मध्ये वर नेलेले आहेत. So on each floor,
okay,
on each floor, this terrace acts as a vent area. So the idea is it is a 10 meter by 10 meter grade. So and it keeps on spiraling up. So on that 10 meter by 10 meter overlooks two lower terraces down. On each floor of this terrace, there will be one coffee machine and little sitting areas, and that is where people can get relaxed. And then also we wanted to create a kind of image which talks about the building itself.
Sir, at what stage of completion is this building?
It is yet to begin. This is a building behind Sheraton, the present Sheraton. This is a again a complete commercial building, but originally lower two floors were meant for shopping, kind of a open mall, not a conventional mall which is closed on all sides. But we have a 65,000 square feet plaza with 7.5 meter height. These columns, they are 7.5 meter height, and they are all placed 8.2 meter center to center. It's completely grid planning. And this building is 100 meter by 100 meter in size. And all the columns through their center carry the rainwater down. Because for a 100 meter building,
That's a
how
beautiful
do I
image.
manage the storm water?
Yes, yes. But sir, you have the numbers pit pad. All the numbers are there with you ready. Means that you are giving the numbers as if they are in front of you. This 8.2 meters. This. I think this is a very beautiful photo. That's why I could resist.
For the first time, we experimented with stainless steel cladding to these columns, and we got a good contractor. We had a number of meetings. We experimented on a couple of columns early, and then finalized the detail. And then we had put a 10,000 rupees prize to any visitor who can show me the welded joint. Even today, if you go, even today, if you go, you will feel that it is a stainless steel cylinder in which the column has been casted. So precise job the contractor did for us.
Wow. So there's one more very nice image which I thought I should include.
And this is the lobby. This is the entrance lobby of the same project. And there is a galaxy on the roof.
So quickly, sir, a quick question, because we are on a corporate project. Do you think, I mean, forget the time in which we are now, but do you think these are very exciting times for corporate buildings in India?
Yes, now corporates and industry, I will also include industry in that. They are now wanting to show their presence by way of their buildings. So previously, people were not bothered. They were only bothered about turnover, business, and profit. But now, each one of these corporate, even a smaller corporate, or even an industry, even a small industry, now they are trying to project their image through their buildings. And this is an opportunity because 20, 30 years back, excepting few large houses, all industries, there was zero aesthetic. But today, now industry has also started thinking about aesthetics.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. So that was nice. Now again, we go to Vivek, sir. I'm calling this the category 2, which is industrial. We shall be quickly taking 4 projects. I was tempted to take only 2, but I could not resist because they are so interesting. So Vivek, sir, I would like you to quickly take us through as a pass on the slides. We can just talk on them. So we begin with Hudek.
Yeah.
Over to you, Vivek, sir.
Yes, yes. Yeah. This is an industrial building which is constructed about 10-15 back at Dharwad, Karnataka. And the architects are from Pune, Architectonics Design Consultancy Private Limited, Ajay and Sonali Thosar. These are the pictures. These are actually the images, and you will also see the actual photographs where you will see a circular element there, which is 60 feet diameter inclined circle, which is the part of the product which is symbol of the product which they are manufacturing there. You can see it in the structural drawing. there is a circle and it's in structural steel. All this is made in structural steel, but that, yes, that is inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal. And under that, there is an entrance lobby of that industry. And behind this circle, there is a regular production unit, which you either may see or may not see in this picture.
Yeah. So
But
this
this was
has been
really
a
interesting.
making this must have been a big headache, I think. Making this.
It was really nice to work on because I had earlier worked on Indraprastha Stadium, which was 500 feet diameter circle. Against that, this was just 60 feet diameter. And the problem in such cases in designing the roof is that there are many members which come and meet at the center. So how to connect them to each other? In fact, they are not directly to each other. There is a structural round or square pipe or some like cylinder where all members come and meet, and that is actually called as compression ring, so that the connection work is facilitated at the center. The erection was a great problem here because the circle itself was inclined by 30 degrees. But it was really wonderful to work with. We had a good contractors there, and the architect was very, very enthusiastic. I've been working with him for the last 20 years.
So we'll have a quick look at the structural drawings before we move on. Yes, I think this is what you were telling us. And this is
Yes, these are the actual photographs.
Yeah.
And those circular things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next one, which we have is Philtrum at Shindewadi.
Yeah.
I think I found this very interesting because of the kind of truss. So if you could elaborate,
Yes,
this is not something we see usually.
Yes, yes, yes. These trusses, you will see that they are in pairs and they are staggered. One way is staggered to the next, so that you admit light in between those forms, which are moon shaped actually. You admit light in vertical slits, because these trusses you will see that if one truss goes up, the lower truss is going down there. And there's a pair of trusses, so that in each page you have got different profiles, and you get some space in between, and the light is admitted to that. That is again designed by ADCPL.
This is again another interesting drawing.
Yes, there are many other things in this actually, these trusses, as well as there are, in those days, about 20 years back, we did that. And we are not really we're not conversant with this pre-stressed concrete slabs that time in 2000. So we resorted to flat slab construction. There were columns and slabs were constructed without beams. And I had done such jobs with Sterling on many projects of Sterling. Therefore, I was used to designing flat slabs and getting them constructed at site. And I had to actually educate the contractor and his men to execute that work. It was a nice experience because they were very keen to learn new things. So it was good.
So we move on to another one, which is again, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is Philtrum, but at Nandur. Again, I thought this was very interesting.
This is at Nandur on Solapur Road. Solapur Road. This is a very long building with flat slab, and then this is an entrance lobby of that building. And it's a circular building, and behind this there is 100 feet by 300 feet production unit, which is like this, where you have got those Proflex sheet roofing. That time they were popular, and we have used that. Nowadays people don't use those Proflex sheets, but that was in vogue in those days, 20-25 years back. So we used those, and you can see the circular element there, which is in white. That's an entrance of the office block, and behind that you have the production unit, which is 100 feet by 300 feet long. Again, the architects are ADCPL here. And there is one more project which we did at Tamil Nadu, Hosur. I hope you have the picture of the same.
Yeah, this is the one, right? Fleet Garden.
Yeah, this is the one. Now you take a look at the office that is circular in shape outside. The shell is circular. And that is all done after the RCC work of the building behind was ready in place. So it was connected to the old RCC building, existing RCC building, by using structural steel frame, and then the cladding of aluminum was put on it. And that's a north light actually, where the shapes of the roof, shapes of the sheeting are curved, and you see some slit in between which is admitting the light. So this is a production unit, which is again on the rear side of the front office. So both the things were equally interesting. The north light, which is admitted there, and in the front you have got that curved office, which is done in structural steel.
So before I go to Vikas sir, Vivek sir, I would like to share that probably your own time which you spent in COEP, where you have that wonderful drafting hall. I mean, the minute you go into that drafting hall, it's an inspiring moment where there is north light and there are those big wood tables of drafting. So tell me something, when you make projects like these, does that, somewhere, do you remember those moments when you are in that environment?
Nowadays, students and new entrants in the profession have forgotten to prepare sketches. They do not know how to prepare sketches. They are totally dependent on computers. But that should not happen. There, in somewhere down the line, they lose creativity. They depend so heavily on computers that computer, remember, is not an end in itself. It is just an aid to the designer. So you should start practicing sketching things, which we did in engineering, in building drawing, in structural drawing, just as we do in architectural studios, in architectural college. I have been teaching in Sir J.J. College of Architecture, and as well as the Abhinav College on the insistence of actually Vikas. So he wanted me to teach there. So I did that for 4 years, and I did a stint in JJ for 4 years, where it was really nice to mix with new generation and tell them something which you are doing. And we were really very proud. That time, actually, I had published a paper which was presented at Madras on a national level conference on pre-staged concrete structures. So when the students knew that their teacher has presented a paper at national seminar, they were so happy and they were so surprised that such a guy is our teacher. And they are really very enthused. And I took them to various sites, including Stock Exchange Building, Wankhede Stadium, and so many other structures which are monumental and iconic and of national importance and landmark projects which we did with Sterling in Mumbai. So the boys and girls of architecture were very happy, and they were very pleasantly surprised to see that their teacher is involved in design of such fantastic buildings which are coming up around them in Fort area.
Right. So we go with this memory that Vivek sir shared, very sweet memory.
There is one more building which I would like you to show up afterwards, MPR at Ahmednagar.
Yes, so that's coming up. I put that in the social design category. So Vikas sir, we would like you to tell us about these two very, I don't know whether to call them large housing or whether it is a mirror of society evolving. I don't know what to call it. So maybe we could start with this. That's why I put the plan as the first slide.
This building is sitting in surrounded by all the hills. The idea was constantly we should have a view of those hills. So those arms coming out, you see the wings of the building, and in between are the green spaces. Do we have any other?
This is a beautiful picture. This is a beautiful picture.
Now in this image, Priya, if you see the recess portion, they are the terraces.
Okay.
So when you sit on the terrace, there is continuous all around you are surrounded by hills, and then visually the lower parking floors also have been made all green.
So very nice. So we go to the next project, which is Water's Edge. Again, a very, this has become very famous all over Pune, I would say that. Again. So can you tell us a little about this? It's a very long, I think, there's a river on one side, I think.
It's a long and narrow strip of about 10 acres.
Would you like to speak on the plan? Should I go to the earlier slide?
No, I will talk about it.
Okay.
Priya,
Yeah.
last 10-15 years, where the PMC rules allow double-heighted terraces. And the kind of geometry that aesthetic that is being created in the city, all those terraces coming out, and one terrace looks down into the other terrace, and there is no skin left for the buildings. So here we experimented with a different arrangement of terraces. They are terraces, they are double-heighted, but they are within the mass of the building.
Okay.
So if you sit on the terrace, you have walls on three sides and one face is open on outside. So there is a full privacy. Nobody is looking at your terrace.
Yes.
Because when the terraces look at each other, then people have some kind of a plastic awning, or somebody puts a metal sheet and tries to create a privacy. And then even if someone misuses it for drying the clothes, ते धुणं public मध्ये येत नाही.
Yes, right.
So drying the clothes and all that activity doesn't make an impact on the streetscape. So that is what we tried here. And the other thing we tried in this project was, this site is adjacent to a river. So we took the value of last 100 years highest flood line, and about 1 meter above that, created the middle part and filled it on our sides. So this is a basement plus one parking, but basement parking is accessible from the central part, and upper parking is accessible from side margin.
Okay.
So the cost of the basement, construction cost of waterproofing issues all are gone. Light ventilation, even if we call it a basement, it is practically a ground floor.
Yes.
And probably builders' money also got saved, probably.
But sir,
We should ask.
Yeah, but there is an important lesson again here, that designing such housing complexes is, I don't know, I mean, it is like you are trying to make everybody happy. The person who comes to live there has to be happy, the builder has to be happy, the contractor has to be happy. So I think it is one of the most difficult genres of design to design. Would you say that? Very difficult to design such kind of.
It's not difficult. The day designer starts planning and he starts assuming that I'm going to live in this house.
Okay.
The moment mentally lives in that house, all houses are going to be, but we must that habit.
Yes.
That mentally we must start moving in that way. This is my bedroom, this is my living room, this is how I'm going to access, this is how I'm going to access, this is how I'm going to go to the garden. If you mentally live in that sequence, all buildings could be good, all housing can be good.
Absolutely, I think I agree. So we move on now. This is again another very beautiful view, I thought, so I included it. That you can literally feel the openness or the fresh air that you get when you sit in one of those sit-outs.
And then
even the use of the shadows there is very beautiful.
And this campus where used full potential. This campus where used full TDR potential. But in spite of that, we have been able to create a huge amount of garden in between. Because since beginning of my practice, I used to be always worried about the community. My conviction was we must create communities. We should not stop only at housing. Just giving a box to one person is not enough.
Yes.
So in all our projects, there is always a sense of creating community. And our open spaces, we always planned open spaces and statutory open spaces. We always locate them in such a fashion that they become the tying members to the entire community.
Yes, right. So at this point again, I'll now we are friends. Now we are moving on to the residential category, which is I think very dear to all of us, because whether it is a bungalow or a small cottage or a farmhouse, every inch of that is close to our heart, especially if you are the resident. So we come to a very cute house designed, where the structure was designed, of course, by Vivek Apte, and the architect is Manish Banker, and he was very kind to share his photos. So Vivek sir, I would like you to tell us about this very cute house in Ahmednagar.
Yes.
Again, yeah, this is, I said I'll include the plan because it's a bit interesting. So you can talk about the plan a little, and then I'll go to the photos.
Yes, it's called as actually courtyard house, where you see a courtyard in between the two wings, which are on left and right. And the finishes are, of course, here very coarse in nature. And you see many exposed elements there, not in the drawing, but you'll see it in the pictures. Architect Manish Banker, and he is planned in such a way that there is a proper ventilation vertically as well as horizontally. You can see it. There are ducts on either side, so that the heat goes out vertically up, and the cool is maintained inside the space of the house. This is a night view, perhaps.
So, but this is so diametrically opposite to the huge structures that you have done. So I find this personally, I find this very interesting that how do you detach from that, and you're doing a small, not small, but it is a small project if you compare it with your industry. So do you enjoy doing, or there is nothing like enjoy? You get a job, you put your entire heart and soul into it. How do you look at this?
See, variety is the spice of life.
Yes.
So I want to make a life more spicy.
Yeah.
We're working with different types of projects, whether it is small or big is really not important. Most of the people now, when I prepare a certain structural design, people say sometimes that it's very heavy. There are other people so that it is very light. Let me tell them that there is nothing heavy or light in structural design. Either the structural design is either good or bad. There is nothing heavy or light.
So it's like
Similarly,
a movie. It's either there is no art movie and no commercial or no mainstream. It's either it's a good movie or it's a bad movie.
So there is nothing like small and big in buildings and structures. All are very interesting. Actually, a great structural engineer Mahendra Raj once said that the most beautiful part of the buildings is foundations, but they are never seen.
Right.
So how to appreciate that effort by a structural engineer?
So yes, again now we come to the residential category. Again a bungalow, again a very intimate space, I would say, coming from a big firm. Again, sir, I want your thoughts on how you made this, which is a very exclusive kind of residence. But again, it's the empire of somebody staying there. How do you look at this entire thing? This is the plan.
This is a bungalow in Balewadi area. It's about 18,000 square feet total construction. It is a bungalow and also a very small resident office. Concept of this house, they wanted a swimming pool.
Okay.
Now, if we have a normal swimming pool and then there are towers around, the privacy of that swimming pool is gone. So here the swimming pool has become a heart of this house.
Okay.
And that swimming pool starts from basement level, and above that is a complete atrium which travels 3 floors, and all the rooms, they have windows and they look into that swimming pool.
Okay, okay.
That is the beginning idea, and that is the concept around which this house has been.
But the sciography is truly
This is a
beautiful.
formal drawing room.
So Vikas sir, again I have a question for you. How many bungalows have you designed in your career? Do you remember, apart from the bungalow for yourself, how many? 200, 300?
Maybe about 100.
Okay.
Maybe about 100. Maybe. I don't know. I don't,
So don't you
have
miss,
the list.
I mean, of course, it is you who has designed this, but I said, don't you miss the days when Pune had a lot of space for bungalows and Prabhat Road was just developing and Aund was totally blank. So do you miss that time sometimes?
I miss and I don't miss also, because till the time I was doing bungalows, I was not having any prosperity, because when you build a bungalow, it's a comparatively small project which
Yes.
gives a limited financial comfort, and but it takes you a lot of more time.
Yeah. So now we come to a very
Now it's
interesting
very
part,
tough.
sir. Yeah. Friends, I would like to let you know that this,
Mehrabad.
just as I sometime back I said that residential is a personal favorite for everybody, but I think there is a citizen in every architect and an architect in every citizen. So when an architect designs for society at large, or for a trust, or for a single person, or for a farmer, or whoever it is, I think there is something beyond the design that goes in. So we are now coming to the almost the end of the first segment, where this is the social category, and it's a very interesting project. We were lucky, thanks to Apte sir, we were lucky to have a site visit to this absolutely wonderful place, and God willing, we will go there again. Vivek sir, over to you as far as this memorial tower is concerned.
Yeah.
We'll be showing the tower first, and I'll stop the screen and I'll show the MPR photos also.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
See this.
Can you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is a tower built in stainless steel, which is not really very tall, but the height was decided by Avatar Meher Baba, who is no more, who led his body in 1965. And he's a spiritual guru of one American architect by the name of Theodore Judson, who has come to India, migrated to India in 1975, and since then he is living in India at Ahmednagar for the last 45 or 50 years. And I happened to meet him sometimes around 1995, where he approached me for a project of condominiums to be constructed at Mehrabad, which is about 5 kilometers away from city center of Nagar. And there I realized that this guy, this architect, who is a postgraduate architect from University of Yale, America, is such a decent person, very humble. And it was really a great pleasure to work with such a sweet person called Theodore Judson. He still remains to be my very good associate and friend. Now he's 80 years of age, much senior to me, but he treats me and everyone else with great respect, and it is really wonderful to work with him. What you see here is pictures of foundations and surrounding area of that Meher Tower, which was done in stainless steel. Those what you see at the center are stainless steel pipes, one pipe fitting into the other, and that way that tower was raised to a certain height, and there is a prism at the top. And when the sun rays pass through it, you see a rainbow on the marble, which is surrounded on the podium. You see that curved podium. You see the rainbow on that when the sun rays pass through that prism at the top, and it is all it all had the cladding of marble, and inside it is stainless steel. But that was in memory of Avatar Meher Baba, and he was a spiritual guru of so many people, including architect Theodore Judson. And after 1996, I did so many projects with Theodore Judson, and one of the most important project which I did with him was a very eco-friendly building called Meher Pilgrim Retreat. Now you can see that the arches made in brick, where actually this is the entrance. There's a long corridor which you walk through and then go to the entrance, and then you see a cross member at the roof, which is trusses. They're all in structural steel, and the roof is tiled roofs put on top of structural trusses and purlins. There's nice brickwork which the artisans at Nagar did. And actually, Ted was standing on their head to get this work done according to his plans. You can see that long veranda here, which is inclined. And this is a picture. Yeah. This is something outside the courtyard. This is a courtyard outside the dining hall. The dining hall is really fantastic. If you can show that.
Yes, so we'll just go to that.
Yeah.
We'll go to the dining hall now.
Yeah.
These are very interesting elements, you know, and the whole thing changes the whole day. So it's very fascinating to see the way the shadows change. So these are also external images which are purposefully showing because people should understand the nature of the exposed brick. Now I'm coming inside. This is the view from the first floor actually. This is the dining hall.
And this is a dining hall balcony. This is the inside of the dining hall. And you can see the roof clearly where there are trusses and there are wooden planks and then a mild steel sheet on top and then tiles and bamboo chatai, everything, all eco-friendly material being used there. Exposed brick, exposed concrete, Shahabad tiles, furniture made in stone, then solar energy plant and then rain harvesting system, everything you can see in this building. It is really an eco-friendly building and all green surrounding this building.
Even this is a very beautiful photo when you're looking down into that space.
Yeah.
Even the details like the basin details and all that are really very beautiful.
I appeal the students of architecture to come once and visit this as a study tour because that will be really nice for them to take them further in their career while designing eco-friendly buildings.
So yes, so we go to the second part of this. So Vikas sir, again, I'm asking you to share some of your...
Vivek, नगरला आल्यावर आपल्याला जायचं आहे एकदा बरोबर.
Yes. तुमची ओळख आहे करून देईन मी. What happened? I had invited Christopher Charles Bellinger to Nagar to show his work at Mahindra School, where he won the prize for that. And he came here and I introduced him to Ted Judson. Both of them hail from America, both of them postgraduate architects. And they became close friends of each other. And now Christopher Charles Bellinger keeps on visiting his friend Ted Judson at Nagar. He stays there in that ashram. He calls it ashram. For the weekend. They have become good friends. So I was instrumental in making those American architects coming together at Nagar.
Wow.
So you must come and see it. Yeah.
So anyway, I would like here to just tell everybody that we must make a visit here, and there is so much. I have been here 3 times, and I would love to come there with another group as many times. So Vikas sir, now we move on to you. Again, you have been doing a lot of design that falls in the social design category. But just as every design, you require a lot of skills, lot of time management, lot of space challenges which you have in a social program like this. So I would request you to tell us about this thing at Pallitana. We would like to hear from you what this is all about.
This is basically a museum of Jainism. In Jainism, we have 24 Tirthankars, we call, and each one has contributed in firming up or developing the philosophy of Jainism, way of living life. But unfortunately, contribution of each of that Tirthankar is not on record. But then there are some Tirthankar whose contribution is recognized by some tradition of oral passing on information and all that. So this museum basically consists 11 pavilions for 11 Tirthankars about whom the knowledge today exists. So rest we will say that they have been continued, part of the continuity, they have been instrumental in developing that philosophy, but we don't have that knowledge. So basically this site is adjacent to Shatrunjay Dam, and that we are almost 20 meters below the dam height. And we took a special permission from the irrigation department. We'll take the water from the dam, we'll circulate on the roof and leave it back into their canal. So we are not consuming water. Partial consumption will be for evaporation. So entire building were cooled out of that water which is abundant. This is on the top, what you see is a Shatrunjay Dam. So it's basically a campus of telling people what is Jainism, how it evolved, and then auxiliary facilities. And then in the far left corner, left top corner is a facility for Maharaj Sahib, the nuns of Jainism, you can say. And rest are the visitor facilities and canteen and all that. And one passes through that. And then after seeing those pavilions, there is a water body around through which one can do boating, and that through that boating also there is a display exterior. And then there is a large central courtyard, because this Palitana, there is a tradition. People go to Palitana, and whenever they go to Palitana, they strictly adhere to the practices. They don't eat after sunset. So when now they come here and stay overnight, what do they do in the evenings? So that was the issue, that after they have taken their food at 7 o'clock, how to keep them busy. So in the central courtyard, we have made an amphitheater, and every day a different lesser show will be projected on that. That is the idea. And that is how
what
the whole
stage of
it is yet to
completion, or has
begin.
it started?
It is yet to begin.
Okay. So this is something very profound, which I feel, because the timing is so right. Tomorrow is Ashadhi Ekadashi. So sir, could you tell us a little about this?
There is a organization in Alandi which is called Fruitwale Dharmashala. And that Dharmashala came in an interesting way. Way back, everyone contributed just 1 rupee. And out of those funds, they acquired the land and they had built one Dharmashala. And Mr. Dhadiwal, Rasiklal Dhadiwal, he had a habit of donating to various activities. Now, Dhadiwal was Jain. And this Dharmashala is, all the trustees are Maratha. But he said, I don't care. If somewhere someone is doing a good job, I want to contribute. So this is where we made one satsang hall, which is 35 meter by 35 meter space. And here we use a different kind of a structure. Probably Vivek, you will listen. When you listen, you will appreciate it. Each one of us in our childhood have made a Patyacha Bangla. So a moment of one card stops the moment of other card. So in this 35 meter by 35 meter space, from 4 corners, there are trusses which go and touch one square ring in center.
Yes.
And that is
Yes. Yes, right.
And then that central portion becomes a skylight, because the space is large, which can't completely depend on lights on the side. So there is also a light from the top. And this is forced draft ventilation with turbo vents on the top. It's not air conditioned space.
How many people can this hall accommodate when it is full?
10,000.
My God.
And otherwise, and then this hall also has 4 meter veranda all around. So when all those windows are open, and if there is something really big happening, those windows are open and people stand on those verandas also.
Okay. So has this recently been completed at Alandi?
It is completed about 5 years back.
Okay.
And this was very favorite space of our past chief minister.
Okay.
Fadnavis, all his meetings, he used to take here.
Okay.
All Fadnavis meetings used to happen in this hall. He used to come, Jnaneshwarana Namaskar करायचा आणि meetingला बसायचं. And all around, if you saw those panels, those are the between the walls. You see the vertical panels.
Yes.
Those are the important milestones, events in the life of Naneshwar, which was
Sir,
done by
are they
Khatawkar.
murals? Are they murals or are they
Murals.
paintings?
They are
Okay.
murals,
Okay.
not painting. They are murals done by our Khatawkar artist.
Okay.
Khatawkar, famous Khatawkar.
So friends, we are actually well on time, and for this, I must give the entire credit to our two rocking guests for today, Vikas sir and Vivek sir. I mean, it is so sweet of them the way they have resisted talking too much about a project and kept to time. I really appreciate that. So now we come to the part, just a 10-minute slot, where some of you can share some memories. So the way I'm going to go about this is, I will be requesting some people in the gathering, if they are, to share a memory. And first we will start with maybe some of Vikas sir's students. If you are there in the gathering, I would request you to unmute yourself and share a memory. Please feel free to unmute yourself and start talking.
Priya, can I make one request?
Yes.
We are all friends. At the end of session, unmute everyone.
Okay,
And
okay.
let's say hello to each other, because
Definitely.
last 4 months.
Yes. Harsh, can we unmute everybody, please? Everybody can go.
The participant can now unmute himself.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, in fact, I'm just taking a collective thing on the screen so that we know. Okay, Vinod is there. Vinod, can I request you to say hi and share a small memory of your time with Vikas?
Hi, good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Very much so.
My name is Vinod Dusia. Good evening to everybody. I am one of the blessed and fortunate sir's student to be associated with him for past 24 years, since 1996. I happened to work with him after my graduation, and after that many more projects and even competitions. One thing I would like to share about sir's office or sir's culture in his office is like he has always treated the office like a extension of school and not a typical office. So his office is like not every day just working on your PCs, but exchange of ideas and learning and arguments, and this is what happens in his office. So that culture we really like and we really follow in our time also. Also, there is one culture where there is no hierarchy of people in the office. Like there is no senior, there is no junior, and everyone has got, everyone can come up with their opinion, their argument on any damn project, big, small, and he appreciates, and he good things can come from anybody, from a senior guy or even a junior guy. So he always kept the table open for everyone. Bhandari sir, being a very good architect who thinks out of box everywhere, but he like if we take the structural part of it, other than making a very good design building, but he never compromised on any practicality, functionality, utility of any of the design, whatever he must have done till date. And we were fortunate to be a part of all his work. I would, since he showed the Sai Radhe project, which we were part of making of Sai Radhe, the designing must have gone for about a year and a half. But for 6 months, every day he used to come and he used to tell us, I and my friend, कि विनोद एक grid तैयार कर 8.15 to 8.2. Every day we used to come up with a grid, and by evening we used to come up with a design. The next day it is scrapped, and again we are next day again. So this went on for 6 months. Every service core, maybe the lifts, the staircases, the toilet, everything should fit in a grid. It is nothing when you design the space and the toilet is just added on, or the staircase is added on. Everything in that particular building is on a grid, and maybe there are some guys who are juniors, and they were working on a toilet for about 3 months, and they were saying, "Yaar, 3 mahina ho gaya, and we are still working on the toilet." So unless he comes up with we come up with a simplest solution, everything fits in the grid and the functionality, he never used to leave the chance to make it more practical and sound. It's not only about structure. His ability about resolving services. It might be drainage, it might be water, it might be electrical, it might be furniture part of it. Everything he resolves at a single given time. And that is the best part which we learned. It is not just like an artist you paint. I mean, he used to tell me, our architecture is not like painting. You can just hang it on a wall after you make it and nobody uses it. It's just a visual thing. But in a building, there is somebody who's using it. You're spending somebody's money. So you have to be that responsible and you have to do that. So that's how, I mean, the part of services and structure which is there. But Bhandari sir, being an architect, madam, I can take 1 minute more.
Yes, 1 minute.
Because I have got a lot to talk about him. Being an architect, he is also technically sound. But you take anything. I mean, it can be a software, maybe an AutoCAD drawing or any programming, writing about a program and anything. He's got much better knowledge about everything. Any youngster, whatever he has the knowledge, he's got much better than what a young guy has. And at his age of 73, he can compete the passion he has for work with the youngest of the person in the office. He's so fast in his designing skills. He's so fast in his CAD drawings. You must be feeling, sir, kabhi baithte nahi hai drawing pe, but he can sit and he can draft the entire thing and entire drawing in one day also. So he's that strong in all the aspects of
yes.
things. And last but not the least, for him, which he used to teach us, building is not a three-dimensional thing. A building also has a fourth dimension. And that fourth dimension is like the family, the way a building is supposed to be used. So he says you also need to think about that, because you might, given a program, you might come up with a design, but that might not be used the way you think and the client thinks. So I'll just give an example where he designed a bungalow for his friend, and the friend said,
very quickly.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Very quickly.
Yeah. Just and or I can just continue if you want.
No, that's okay, because yeah, we'll have to stick to time. But I think Vinod, that was very. I could see that it was coming from your heart, because you have worked so many years with him. So all this, I mean, it can never end. I feel you can go on for an hour also.
Yeah,
but we have a schedule to stick to. So now I will request Pushkar sir to share a quick memory, and then Girish I'll request, and then we'll go on to a few people who are waiting to share their experiences with Apte sir. So Pushkar sir, a quick short memory of yours. Pushkar Kanvinde, who has been my own principal in BKPS years. Sir, please let us see you.
Namaskar. Namaskar. ऐकू येतंय का माझं बोलणं?
हो, ऐकू येतंय.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
good.
we can hear you.
दोन्ही गुरूंना माझा नमस्कार. कारण I would say they were my mentors. आपटे सर तर खूप दिवसांनी दिसले. विकास सरांना भेटत असतो अधूनमधून, पण आपटे सरांना भेटून अनेक वर्ष झाली. आय वॉज फॉर्च्युनेट, आय वुड से, की मी 2 वेळा विकास सरांकडे काम केलं. पहिल्यांदा इट वॉज इन 1980-81 बिफोर आय वेंट फॉर माय पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन, and then from 83 to almost 86, 85 till the time I joined college, ते 2 वर्ष. आणि to almost challenge us की अरे हे असं करायचंय, आपल्याला असं करून बघायचंय. आणि मग आम्ही त्या जोशात कामाला लागायचो. आणि ऑफिसमध्ये वातावरण असं नव्हतं की ते आमचे बॉस आहेत आणि आम्ही त्यांच्या हाताखाली काम, ते डिस्कशन इव्हॉल्व्ह व्हायचं. सिमिलरली आपटे सरांबरोबर देखील चर्चा व्हायची. म्हणजे खूप, म्हणजे त्यातनं आम्हाला स्ट्रक्चरचं खूप शिकायला मिळालं. आणि एखाद्या याच्याबद्दल भांडणं देखील व्हायची प्रेमाची, की हे असं नाही, असंच असायला पाहिजे, मग हे असं नको, हे असं व्हायला पाहिजे. आणि यातनं खूप काही शिकायला मिळालं. आणि आय वुड से दॅट इन माय फॉर्मेटिव्ह इयर्स these two people have influenced my thinking about architecture very much. So Bhandari was my father's friend.
Okay, that
Then-
goes a long time back.
Then I worked for him and we have become friends. And even today we keep on meeting. आणि खूप छान त्यांच्याबरोबर गप्पा मारायला मजा येते. थँक्यू. हे असंच
Thank you, sir. Thank
मला
you very
अनेक
much.
वर्ष त्यांच्याबरोबर गप्पा मारायला मिळू
हो.
दे आणि आपटे सरांची पण लवकर गाठ पडू दे. ते मेहराबाद बघायला नक्की नगरला येणार.
हो.
थँक्यू.
So I have a dear friend of mine who is here, Girish Brahme. Girish, I would like to share one small memory, and then we go on to Apte sir.
Good evening, sir. Girish Brahme. I was fortunate to work with Bhandari sir for 7 years, and I think what I am today is because of him. त्याच वेळेला मी आपटे सर पण असायचे, त्यामुळे आपटे सरांबरोबरही खूप वेळा इंटरॅक्शन झाले आणि काम केलेलं होतं. बऱ्याच प्रोजेक्ट आता बघताना एकदम नॉस्टॅल्जिक झालं. आर्किटेक्चर व्यतिरिक्त मी खूप गोष्टी ज्या सरांकडनं शिकलो ते म्हणजे त्यांनी खूप मोठा विचार करायची हिंमत आणि ताकद दोन्ही दिली. ही मेड अस थिंक बिग. त्यांची विजन जी होती ती ते नेहमी शेअर करायचे, की ज्याच्यामुळे आपणही आपली विचारांची ताकद वाढवू शकतो. मोठा पॉइंट जो त्यांच्याकडनं मला मिळाला, म्हणजे आर्किटेक्चर तर आहेच आहे, पण दुसरा पर्सनली मोठा पॉइंट जो मिळाला की ही यूज टू एम्पॉवर एव्हरी पर्सन हु वॉज इन हिज टीम. ते फ्रीडम द्यायचे आणि त्यांच्यावर विश्वास टाकायचे. मग एक छोटी आठवण अशी आहे त्यातली की मी ग्रॅज्युएट होऊन 2-3 वर्ष पण नसतील झाली आणि त्यांनी मला मधुर बजाज सारखा, जो बजाज ऑटोचे हेड होते, त्यांच्या घरी मीटिंगला पाठवलं. म्हणजे दॅट वॉज द कॉन्फिडन्स अँड दॅट वॉज द फेथ. ही एम्पॉवर्ड ईच अँड एव्हरी पर्सन हू वर्क विथ हिम. आणि त्याच्यामुळे जे एक कॉन्फिडन्स स्वतःत येतो काहीतरी करायचा, तो खूप मोठा येतो. म्हणजे बोलण्यासारखं इतकं की आय कांट स्टॉप. पण एक रिक्वेस्ट फक्त आहे की जशी ही सिम्फनी केली तशी भंडारी सरांबरोबर एक फॉर्म, लाईट, व्हेंटिलेशन, व्हॉल्यूम त्यांनी कायम डिझाईन एक्सप्लेन करताना सेक्शन पासून सुरुवात करायचे आणि तिथून ते जे इव्हॉल्व्ह करायचे. The plan was there in his mind, but the section was where he used to start, and we have spent hours. रिसेप्शनिस्टच्या चेअर मध्ये मी बसलेलो असायचो आणि त्यांची एक फेवरेट चेअर होती, तिथे ते बसायचे आणि आम्ही कित्येक तास ते असे पेननी स्केच करायचे आणि सेक्शन मधनं ते जे काही इव्हॉल्व्ह करायचे, दॅट इज समथिंग, इट्स मॅजिक. यू हॅव टू जस्ट एक्सपिरियन्स इट. अँड आय वॉज फॉर्च्युनेट टू go through that experience for 7 years, and thank you for this.
Super. So friends, now we come to, there are three people here who are very keen to share their memories of interacting with Vivek Apte sir. So first I would like to request my friend all the way from Bangalore, if I am not wrong, Mr. Nagendra Kumar, who is part of Sterling. Sir, could you share a memory? Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I am Nagendra Kumar from Bangalore, from Sterling Engineering. Myself and Vivek Apte were, office together, working in office just after our graduations, like post graduations. That is 78 to 80. At that time when we are very young and not really knowing anything about what structural engineering field and is, so the office in which we were working, we used to have other seniors also, and of course Mr. Kamal Hadkar was there. So we used to do different jobs, but we used to exchange our ideas. Why you are doing like this, why not this way, like that. And mostly I was sitting next to him only, so we used to always interact. What are you doing, or how is this to be handled, like that. Things went on, and I do not forget one thing which I will remember even now also, is after the office hours we used to go to nearby small restaurants, because we couldn't afford any bigger hotels, definitely. So we used to go and have a cup of coffee or some snack, and discuss again something related to office and things like that. There was really very nice to have worked with him. After that, I went to Delhi, and then he continued, and then he parted away. But my association with him in the early part was really good. So we always keep remembering what all we tries to do it and things like that. Hi, Apte, how are you?
Yes. Fantastic. Nice to hear you after a long time.
This is so sweet,
Yeah,
I mean, as you have been together since the age of what, 24,
let me tell you,
yeah,
Nagen Rupakumar
it is more than 42 years.
My God, that's what rock solid.
Nagen Rupakumar is a great structural engineer who was responsible mainly for the design of Indira Gandhi International Stadium at Delhi. Yeah.
But sir, thank you. I really appreciate. I mean, I know Zoom doesn't mind geographical differences, but still we appreciate you coming all the way from Bangalore. It's almost as if all of us are in the same room. So now I have a very, very good, very dear friend of mine who I met because of Apte sir, engineer Ashok Satkar. Again, he's from Ahmednagar. Satkar sir, एखादी छान आठवण तुम्ही तर सरांबरोबर काम केलंय. You are in Ahmednagar. तुम्ही नगरवासी आहात दोघंही. So something from you.
आता जे स्टारवर्ड्स या मीटिंग मध्ये आहेत, तर म्हणजे त्यांना सॅल्यूटच आहे. आम्हाला हे म्हणजे पहिल्यांदा आपटे सरांकडून ह्या सगळ्यांची नावं वेळोवेळी ऐकायला मिळाले, पण आता ते स्वतः समक्ष बघायला मिळाले. ते नागेंद्र सर असतील किंवा कानिंदे सर असतील किंवा भंडारी सर असतील. पण मला एक सांगायचं आहे की ह्या सगळ्यांपेक्षाही मी जास्त लकी आहे की मी जास्तीत जास्त त्यांच्या बरोबर मागचे 30 वर्ष काम करतोय.
बापरे, ओके.
हो, आणि त्यांच्याकडे गेल्यावर आमची मीटिंग कमीत कमी म्हणजे काम असतं फक्त 2 मिनिटाचं आणि 1 तास त्यांच्याशी ह्या सगळ्या चर्चा आम्हाला ऐकायला मिळतात आणि आम्ही त्या युनिव्हर्सिटीचे विद्यार्थी आहेत.
वाव, दिस इज म्हणजे इतकं छान
स्ट्रक्चर डिझाईन मधली
खूपच.
स्ट्रक्चर डिझाईन मधली ही एक चालतं बोलतं विद्यापीठ आहे आणि आम्ही त्याचे आजही विद्यार्थी आहेत. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी माझे मुलं म्हणजे नेक्स्ट जनरेशन सुद्धा त्यांचे विद्यार्थी आहेत.
Wow. I think Praful Surana has been raising his hand for quite some time. Praful, I have to let you speak. Please unmute yourself.
I have very sweet memories of working with Vikas sir. I did my internship with sir, and thereafter, after passing also, I worked with sir for a short while, wherein I learned the basic fundamentals of architecture, which really helped me to start my career. And I cherish the whole memories I have worked with sir. Thereafter, I even had the opportunity to work with Vivek Apte, and we shared the office space for a long time. And so it was an amalgamation of both architecture and engineering. I could learn from both these legends. And on this occasion, I would like to thank both of them from the bottom of my heart and wish them a very good health and seek their blessings. That's all.
Well said, Praful. Fine. So I think we have actually reached the end of our shares. This can go on for endless amount of time, but we are humans. We need to.
Priya, you have 2 minutes, no?
Yes, yes.
Huh? I will take 1 minute.
Okay.
With whoever present here and we have worked together, I have always enjoyed. I have always enjoyed working with all these people. I always enjoy meeting them again. And this, your webinar has been an opportunity to at least talk to them. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So, Apte sir, something from you, and then I'll go to the main ending part.
Just a couple of words of gratitude for eminent structural engineer, Mr. P.R. Phatak. When I first met Vikas sir in 1983, almost all his structures were designed by P.R. Phatak sir, who had come down to Pune from Delhi after working with thespians like Achyut Kanvinde. And Vikas sir introduced me to P.R. Phatak, who was a structural engineer, hardcore structural engineer, I will say. Very simple living person. And when I told him about my past of working with Sterling and working with Charles Corey and so many other legendary architects in Mumbai and adopting various techniques of pre-stressed concrete and designs of high-rise buildings, the techniques of design and technology of construction. He was perhaps convinced that I could do something for Vikas. And he was so unselfish, let me tell you. I have not found any other person more unselfish than P.R. Pathak. He told Vikas that now Vivek Apte has come to Nagar and he's working for you in Pune. So whatever projects I am doing for you, kindly hand those over to Vivek. Isn't it really great? When I actually needed projects, I was very desperate to establish myself as a new structural engineer in the industry. And this unselfish senior engineer tells architect that he should give all his projects to the newcomer and not to him. Wonderful. He is such a sweet person. It is rare to find such people nowadays.
Absolutely. So friends, with a heavy heart, I will announce that we are coming to the end of this program. I have no words to share, to express my thanks. Number one, to our wonderful audience today. Of course, to our guest speakers who are my friends. I can frankly say that I am their friend. To our wonderful partner for today, who without hesitation, the minute I told them about this, they said, what is there to ask in this? We are in. So I think, gratitude is a very different word which sometimes is best not used. But yes, it is essential to, express your gratitude in a very subtle way at times. So now, this is the time when I will say that we are ending the program. However, there is a way in which we'll be ending it, which will be very sweet. And as you can see, with this very fitting project and fitting ending, we come to the end of this program. The photo that you see is what we desire for in our country. A lush field, prosperity, water, the lake is full. You can see the hills in the distance, a bumper crop, and everything that our heart desires for. So heartfelt thanks to all viewers from the Wide Angle Forum and Ultratech Cement. Stand by for an important message, friends.
In a world of webinars and work, let us pause to think. Isn't it marvelous how lyrics lift our soul? Isn't it wonderful how music affects our mood? So when an architect writes the poetry, and when the structural consultant creates a melody, spaces blossom and we are happy. Magic happens. And what is happiness after all? Two maestros, a journey of 4 decades, which Wide Angle Forum is proud to present. When the architect and engineer comes together, it's harmony that is created.